This Friday night, tomorrow in fact, TASW presents Break It Off. And in your main event of the evening, yours truly defends this glorious championship, the Texas All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight title, against none other than the 2012 Humble Rumble winner, the #1 contender, Nico. And I know he's going to come after this. I do. I am very excited about this matchup. Nico is one of the more decorated, one of the most popular guys in TASW history. And he's gone and made waves everywhere he's been. He's won titles. The man is popular everywhere he goes. He's a hell of a competitor and definitely one of those guys that's going to give me a definite run for my money. And he's going to do everything it takes to come after this. I know because I've been in the ring with him. But it's funny. I have faced popular, decorated opponents before at Coach's Sports Bar in Humble, Texas during a TASW event, and I've come out victorious. So I'm hoping, I'm planning on having a victory party after I retain this title. So if you're in the Humble area tomorrow night and you want to come to Coach's Sports Bar, I mean the food's great, the alcohol's phenomenal, and you want to see some knock 'em out, drag 'em out wrestling, some title matches, look no further than right here. So yeah, this Friday. But let's back up a second. Now that I've covered that, let's talk about last week. Last weekend I made it was a bit of a return in some ways. I did return to Booker T's wrestling promotion. However, it's been rebranded. No longer is it called the PWA, now it is called ROW, which stands for The Reality of Wrestling. You can go to realityofwrestling.com to get some information about the promotion. I mean, they rebranded it, had their second live show this past weekend, and they've already released episode 2. And guess who was the main event of episode 2? Yours truly. I made my debut and main evented all in one night and returned to Booker T's wrestling promotion. Had a good time. Check it out. The video's already out. I'm in the main event against Rockstar Robbie in a stellar match. I really got to hand it to Robbie. Brought it. He kicks very hard, and there were a couple of shots that had me done. But I don't want to give too much away. Go ahead and check out episode 2. I was really excited to be back. The locker room was really welcoming. Had a really good talk with Booker T before and after the show. It was good to see a lot of the guys I hadn't seen, meet some of the new faces, and see a lot of the guys that I have traveled with and have seen in the past. So I'm looking very much forward to the future with ROW and what that brings. Yeah, man, I'm just excited. Very much looking forward to it. I know Justin with Doja Productions was there. We did film some behind the curtain footage. And I think once we get all that footage together, that will be episode 5. Speaking of which, episode 2 should be out in the next few days. I know Justin's putting the finishing touches on it. Don't want to give too much away, but there's a pretty big feature on me, or at least I'm involved in said feature. So very much looking forward to seeing how it all comes out. So that was last weekend. This Friday, like I mentioned, title match against Nico, who, if you have seen him at Reality Wrestling, goes by a different name, but the same competitor. So, now, on to this weekend. This weekend, after my title defense and hopefully title victory, this Sunday is ACW's Prom at Mohawk in Austin, Texas. I went to last year's Prom. It's a unique concept. I really got to hand it to Darren and those within the brain trust of ACW for coming up with such a great concept. The fans really got involved. You saw a lot of people dressed up. You saw a lot of the wrestlers dressed up. There were some really memorable moments last year. There was, I think from the time Darren faced Jeff the Ref onward, it was a really jam-packed, action-filled show with a lot of stuff that made me think. I mean, there was a four-way that was pretty competitive. There was a Showtime's match, which was pretty good. The prom dress match was a thing of beauty. The Joshis really, I mean, not known for that type of match, and usually that type of match, you know, is not something a lot of people really want to see outside of for the TNA factor, but they really told a great story, and everyone, man, it was really awesome. And then the match, the main event was Matt Palmer versus Davey Vega for the ACW heavyweight title, and or the Anarchy heavyweight title, and man, that the finish of that match was something to behold. I mean, they removed the padding, and you just saw the boards, and man, it was phenomenal. And Davey captured the title at that point, and then Matt Palmer said, well, now I get to do what I've always wanted to do for the last 2 years, and that's face Masada. And it was just something. Poison showing up at the end of the prom dress match, it was something, man. So I'm contemplating going. I do like to support Darren, especially ACW. I like what they do. There's a lot of talent there that I am familiar with. A lot of guys that I have my eye on. There's a lot of talent there that I'd like to compete against or compete with. And I like the energy of the promotion overall. I think they're doing some great stuff there. So yeah, man, I like to be part of things that are good for the wrestling business, and I feel, the three that I'm currently a part of are, being ROW, GCPPW, TASW, and then I'm making my return to Louisiana next weekend, which I'll talk about in a future episode. And hopefully to work with some companies like ACW, which has a good amount of not just press, but a good amount of talent that I'd really like to work with. I mean, again, I have my eye on a few. So if you are in the Austin area and you happen to venture out to Mohawk and you're at the prom and you see me, come say hey, man. Come tell me you love to DeMark out or whatever have you. And I definitely would. I always welcome the fans and whatnot. So I mean, that's about it. I mean, Friday, title match. Again, title match against Nico. And then this Sunday, possibly prom. Who knows? I don't have a date, but I don't mind going staggered. It's not a big deal. Anyway, that's about it. Next week, I'll talk about my return to El Louisiana for Full Throttle Wrestling with Takedown Entertainment. And I might talk about some other stuff. So if you've got any questions you'd like to ask, I'm definitely willing to answer. Maybe I'll talk about some other stuff that's been going on. My thoughts on Avengers. I saw it opening weekend. Maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe I'll talk about movies that I've watched this weekend. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, like I said, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to throw them my way. I always look forward to any comments and concerns that I get, or any feedback that I get. So with that, like I always like to end these, I like to say stay cool, stay sexy, stay classy. But you know what? You know what makes you classy? You having $10 in your wallet and buying one of these bad boys. Telling the world you love to DeMark out. $10, they're going to be at Coach's Sports Bar. I'll have them. And hey, who knows? If you ask, I'll sign them. No extra charge. I don't mind. I mean, just support the DeMark Out movement because everyone loves to DeMark out. Until the next time, later.